and welcome! Today we're looking at the behemoth, the Blackstar Series 100 Mark II. And I wish, first of all, it is sponsored by Blackstar, of course, and if that means something to you negatively, then turn it off and go home, or I don't know, you're already home probably, but it doesn't. I will say whatever I want to say. Obviously, it's the big behemoth, which means it's one of those amps the way that amps were. You know, it doesn't have the DI out with digital stuff. It's got a DI out, but not. It's not a modern amp, even though it's a modern amp. It's a classic amp, meaning it weighs a ton. It has the transformer on one side, so you pick it up, so it's like a good old JCM 800. It kind of falls down on one side. It's no fun to carry around, but it is a lot of fun to play, as I just figured out. And we're going to go through everything as always. So first we're going to go through the obligatory unboxing, product shots, and full track. If you want to skip that, go ahead. If you want to only watch that and turn the video off, go ahead. If you want to know everything because you might potentially want to buy it, go ahead. First, out of the box. Before we get to product shots, I'm going to tell you the price. I don't know the price. It's been here for weeks, it's officially released, and I cannot find a store that carries it for price X. Leslie, who is switching this video, thank you, tried to find the price, couldn't. So we're looking at maybe she found something that might hint at 2,000, 2,200. So it's not a bargain amp, but I mean, come on, it's a 100-watt 4-channel amp. However, the HT Stage 100, which has the cab rig built in, which is a beast of an amp with massive flexibility and probably one of the best 100-watt bargains you can find at only like $1,400 or something, it is considerably cheaper. So why is this better? I don't know. We're going to find out. It has, I'm going to tell you before we get to this, I looked inside, it's got 4 power amp tubes because it's a 100-watt amp, and they are... Can't tell you what kind they are, I have no idea. I mean, either 34s or 606s, I'm thinking 34s. Can't tell you, doesn't matter. But they're TADs, tube amp doctors, which is something you would only find in really the finest of amplifiers. So, that already tells you something. Here are some product shots with some sounds. Okay, so how does it sound in a full track? Full disclosure, in the track, when I got the amp, I did nothing other than go to channel 4 because I wanted one of these bad boys. And took me this to dial in. And then I started playing with a beautiful, you see it in the background there, the Aviator 7-string Predator. What a beast of a guitar.
Guitar of the Day 32 is an Aviator in black with a pink outline. Everything is slanted on this guitar. There's a little silver triangle It has an extra string. There are 2 pointy horns. The neck is very grainy and has 2 stripes in it. Here's the pearly pink outline. You can see it better from the side. And that's Snoopy Poopy.
And you know the track, it is Unite, that I wrote with my good friend Marco Vetter and Dan Swanö. This thing into 412 V30 in the aux, and that's what you're hearing now.
I can see no angel falling from the light. A child so naive, I have been told a lie. You fear of passion, can lost some light. Embrace forever darkness to the lifeless fight. I wait for my people to unite. I believe in your lies, in the darkness around. Somewhere deep inside of me, there's an ocean of time. I deny that you go, I don't see that I fall. Somewhere deep inside of me, I'll never know. Like a demon crawling through space and time, I can hear you calling, spreading the light. I believe you're loving the right and wrong. Come on, leave me tonight, I can never do you wrong. Skyline is burning, no we can have to spill tears. The world is around me and I cannot face the sky alone. So wait for my people to unite. I believe in your lies, in the darkness around. Somewhere deep
Okay, so that was all the goodies. Let's talk about what this amp is. Then let's talk about this rather complex setup that we have here, and then let's go through everything with different guitars. And there are some people that have read in comments like, oh, it's all these YouTubers using different guitars for stuff. I'm like, yeah, because would I play the clean channel with a modern Fishman-equipped 7-string? Fuck hola, no. We want a good, clean guitar, like this Shabbat Puma. And we're gonna, of course, because then some of you are saying, well, you're playing that with Rayleigh P90 things. We want humbuckers, so we're gonna go to a Les Paul type guitar. And then, of course, when we're going high gain, we need to test it with something very modern, Fishman 7-string. So, of course, we're gonna use different guitars because we're not idiots. I want you to have everything that you need to know to buy this or not buy this. Not buying it is also an option. Sorry, Blackstar. It is. If people find out, oh, that's not my thing, that's not your thing. So we are looking at a 4-channel amp. Clean, Crunch 1, Shared EQ, ISF, power section with low-end and high-end, so resonance and presence, and then kind of a power scaling to make it a little bit quieter. I'm almost all the way up. That being said, I'm running through an attenuator. Otherwise, I would die in here. And in terms of master volume, I'm at about 10 o'clock here, and I don't want to go any higher. It's a 100-watt amp, remember, and I'm old. So, and then you've got the whole channel 3 and 4, which is the same idea. You got overdrive 1, overdrive 2, with separate volume and gains. And again, a 3-band EQ and an ISF, which again is more British, more American. It's a typical Blackstar thing. I don't buy into it. It's a tiny difference, and you can change the flavor a little bit, so it's not bad to have, but it's not, oh my god, I have to have a Blackstar amp because they've got the ISF. There's a bright and warm switch here, which I think for the clean channel, I'm gonna go, that's probably for the clean channel. And then there's a crunch and super crunch. Crunch and super crunch for the crunch channel. So maybe for the overdrive channels, those buttons do nothing. There's no reverb. There's no digital out. However, it has MIDI. But since it doesn't have a store button anywhere, I think the MIDI... The dog wants to leave. Bye, XE. Dog's not a big Blackstar fan, apparently. As far as MIDI goes, I assume there are program changes. Maybe, but since you can't actually... There's no store button. Is there a store button in the back? Nope. There's a MIDI in and a through. Channel switching, and maybe these functions could also be controlled very likely with continuous controllers, given the fact that there is no store button. It might have 4 program changes to just go to the channels. It's probably very simple MIDI operation. There is a foot switch included. It's a big behemoth, not super heavy. Aluminium, rubber at the bottom. But, and I don't understand why, it's a serial port, if you see this on the side. And in the back, a serial port. Why in the world would Blackstar on an amp in 2024 use a serial port cable? I understand it has more functions and more pins, but you could do that with a MIDI cable. You could have the MIDI in out, but then for your own foot switch, just use a MIDI cable. It is something readily available, and I'm thinking with the MIDI cable, because it doesn't use all 5 pins, because MIDI only uses 3 pins, you would still be, I know a few things, apparently, so you would still be able to run power for the lights, for the LEDs. It should be possible, and that way you're not carrying around a serial cable that you have to... that serial cable is just flabbergasting me. That seems very antiquated. But the foot switch and the serial cable come included. 5 of those little tubes in the front. Big ass transformers over here, which is why when you lift it up, it does this. It's very heavy. Let's look further in the back. Serial port cable, IC cable, MIDI. Then you've got 3 positions for your speakers, 2 speaker outs, DI out in TRS and XLR. That's frequency compensated. It's not digital. Okay? it's an emulated out, which I will plug in later so you can hear it. I'm not going to hear it in the room, and you just judge for yourself whether you like that or not, because I can't evaluate it in the video. So I'll let you decide. Level switch for the effect loop, and it's a serial effects loop, not a parallel one. There's no dial on it. And I'm going into the decimator by ISP, simply because it was in the room. And that is a noise gate, because on the drive channels, it was a bit noisy. A modern high gain amp like this should have a built-in noise gate, but I told you, it's a very classic amp. It doesn't have reverb, effects, built-in gate, lots of digital stuff. It's just a good old amp the way that we're used to them, but with 4 channels. And then also in the effects loop, I have the TC Electronics 2290p, which I use in this room for all amp demos because it is freaking brilliant. I mean, you know the 2290, that is just a great box to put in your effects loop. I don't think you need an awful lot more. And you could also, of course, control that with MIDI. And actually, yeah, it's got MIDI in and out. So the amp and this could be switched together. The effects loop is not on-off switchable. Again, this amp doesn't have a lot of features. Not in the back with my fingers, or not with the foot switch. That is something that I wish they would have done, because having an effects on-off for your, and actually right next to Overdrive 2, so I could stomp on both of them, would be great to have my leads with delay, and then my rhythm on Overdrive 1 or Crunch without. That would be nice, but effects loop is not switchable. So what you get, in essence, is 4 channels, 1 and 2 are sharing EQ, 3 and 4 are sharing EQ, effects loop emulated out, Bob's your uncle, you're done. Some power scaling down to 10 watts, that's it. Other amps in a higher price range, like Engel, like Rev, yeah, Soldano, no, even Soldano doesn't have gates built in, which is kind of weird to me. So they offer a few more functions, like built-in gates, switchable effects loop, and all that stuff. So in that realm of amps, it is, if it's clocking in at around 2200, 400 watt amp, about 1,000 cheaper than that competition, and that's the compromise you're making. Are you making a compromise in sound? We're gonna find out. I have, of course, now we're getting to setup. These videos are super complicated. I'm taking my guitars into this board that you see in front of you, so we can test it with some pedals. Of course, we have a tuner, Strobo Stomp. We've got an Ibanez Tube Screamer, because that's what you have. We have an Archer, which is a clone. What do we have? Output. That's all good. We have a Galaxy delay and stuff, so we could put this in front of the amp, and the looper really is just for me to get levels while we're setting up. Then that's going with this beautiful summer cable with turnsy on and offy thingy, auto switchy offy. These are really cool and really soft. Summer cable, way to go. Really, I love that stuff. Did you see the one that's in the guitar? Come on, come on. That's wooden. Apparently these are really expensive. I didn't know. And they also have a turny on and offy thingy. This is all technical jargon. Through the board, into the amp, in the effects loop, the decimator, and the 2290p. Always there. Can't turn it off, but I turn off the TC up there. That's going into this Palmer cream backloaded. These are really good cabs. Palmer cream backloaded 212. Full disclosure, I have a Blackstar cab outside, but that's loaded with 7080s or something, and it's not. It's a bigger cab, but I prefer this that is more rounded off. I'm using these Palmer clamps today for the first time to put the mics on there, and we have a good old 906 from Sennheiser over here, and this behemoth is not convenient, but that's an R92 from AEA ribbon mic, and in combination, holy fuck balls, does it sound great. But what you're gonna hear is actually, you can't see this. Maybe if Leslie goes to the back cam. Okay, no, right there in front of the amp, about 2 meters away, is the AEA R88, which is a stereo ribbon, and that's capturing the sound in the room. So you're getting some of the room size together with these two mics. I know that's not a setup you will have at home, but it is going to really get kick-ass amp sounds. If you can't make a cab sound great with the R88 active from AEA and the R92, which together you could buy 2 of these amps for, and a 906, then you don't know what you're doing. There's videos that teach you this. And after all this, here we go into sounds. This is, of course, the clean channel. And we're done with the clean channel. No, don't you wish? There's a lot that this clean channel can do, and we're going to cover it. This is, of course, the Shabbat Puma. Absolutely gorgeous guitar. Great for cleans. And so much more. Can turn that off. Oh, it's spanky in the middle. And now bright off because it was on. I always like brights in. The amp is very spanky and very responsive. It never feels too much in the low end. It's not, whoa, it's not hefty. It's very responsive. I feel pushing that bright, warm thing actually gives me more low end and fatness. It's weird. Not brightness, but fatness. Call it fat, not bright. That's an always on thing. You really want gain starting at noon. Gonna kick in the Galaxy. Can it do clean? Fuck yeah. But the interesting thing is you push that up. Check this shit out. That's crunch or crunch. Holy crap balls. So, some delay. Push it with the Troop Screamer. wasn't that fun. Let's push it with a clon. Honestly, if you don't eat the super high gain, channel 1 is already, with some standard pedals, getting you all the way where you want to go. That's redonkulous. Wow. Like, really cool sounds. Crunch. I hit my crunch knob on the foot switch. Between us, don't tell Blackstar, but I prefer channel 1 for crunch. It's a different flavor, I get it, but yeah, that, it seems channel 2, or crunch, needs some more volume to have the same heft. It's got some dirt and some bite, it's nicely balanced. I don't even know what I'm doing, but it's fun. Let's kick in the troop screamer. That's making it too thin, too thin, too thin. That nice low-end thumping. Let's go into the EQ quickly. Definitely nice and flexible to dial in leads or more thumping low-end stuff. Let's check the ISF. Okay, with quite some imagination, on the all the way to the right, you've got a little bit more low-end thump, and the mids change a tiny bit all the way to the left. So it is a variation of the sound. It's not British and American tones, as they claim. But again, it is a different kind of mid-low-end shift that you can utilize. We haven't engaged the mega crunch. This is not a short video. There's even more gain on tap right there. And now we can hear some hissiness, which of course, just use a gate would be nice if it was built in. We're going to go to overdrive 1, but quickly we're going to go to a different guitar. Fun, but we're gonna change guitars. Come on, why not? Let's really quickly rewind, clean channel. This is, of course, a Heritage custom core, artisan aged, all beat up, pretty guitar. Crunch. Just fun. Overdrive 1. It's always controllable. It's always clear. The attack is beautifully there. I mean, those 16th notes on the chuggy strings, that's fun. The amp is not in any way like going into its knees saying, no more. No massive difference there. Let's see where the difference should be. Same setting. Got the mids up here. Overdrive 2 is a bit darker, and I'm thinking Overdrive 1 is a little bit more defined in the attack. So maybe Overdrive 1 would be for rhythm, whereas Overdrive 2 would be for slightly rounded off leads. Maybe? Let's check out the EQ section. The EQ is, I think, stronger than the ISF. The ISF is subtle, but in combination, especially with the power amp EQ, which is resonance and presence, absolutely capable of being tailored to your cab. I have a smaller 212 here, so if you got a bigger 412, you probably want to tame that low end a bit, which this amp is fully capable of. That sounded like a text from a catalog. I just made that up, but it's true. Let's get some cool rhythm and a great lead, and then we're going to see how it deals with 7-string, and then we can all go home. So, great lead would be, rhythm, I think we got. That's a Mina rhythm, maybe? It is massively tight and right there. It almost feels like, in terms of the precision and perfection you can get, like you're playing a modeler, but it's not. It's a real amp, and it's beautifully fat, and it's inspiring. I'm playing all the shit that I've never played, and I want to write with this. That's what great gear does. It makes you want to make more music. Like, I don't know what I played, but that's fun stuff. So, yeah, it can do that. Now we're gonna go mids in, this in, lead. Wow. So, I mean, if that's not a modern evil guitar, that's a Legator. Don't ask me what it's called. It's a Legator something. It's got a serial number. It's the signature guitar for the dude that signed it, therefore a signature. That's where the name comes from. A Slaughter to Prevail. Don't know what the dude's name is, but I like that it's all bloody. It is probably the thinnest neck on a 7-string that I've ever had, and that's actually satin and not high gloss. Look at how beautifully that's done. It has red Fishman Fluence with a different voicing. It's got a kiddie switch. 3 positions. I'm gonna go pull this and give you a clean. Obviously active pickups. Not great for those sounds. That's not why you buy this guitar. Yeah, that's kind of nice. Again, that's not why you're buying it. Turn that off. Come here. Yep, that's good. That's chug, that's metal. And it's never sluggish. It's never too much. It's never that rectifiery, too much low end. It's always right there. I love that it's mix ready. I mean, obviously dependent on your cab, but holy crap. Cab, dogs in and out. Don't know if you saw, but there was a poodle in here. Wow. Let's take it into the DI out. So I'm plugging the XLR in. And what you're now going to hear is just, I can't plug it in. What the? Here we go. It's just the DI out, which, by the way, was very hot. All the way down on the gain, it was still pretty hot. So didn't have a lot of selectability there when it came to how much output it had. And here we go. You know, all that shit the kids do. Okay, we're done. Feature-wise, when it comes to being a modern amp, I think it's missing a switchable effects loop. It's missing a built-in gate, and maybe all the digital bells and whistles, but that would probably push it up another $1,000. And you can easily add your own IR loader. While actually the emulated out is not switchable. Oh, that's a shame. So if the emulated out was switchable to emulation off and you just have a DI out, then you could just put your own IR loader behind it. But since it's not, you're going to need a load box and IR loader. I recommend the Evo from Amp Central Evo from Red 7. It's very good. Great reactive load. So you put that in combination with this, and then you can go DI with whatever IR you want. Without that, you're kind of stuck with the emulated out, and you still need a load, so you still need to run this through a cab. And if you want to run it quietly, which you might want to do, you have to add an IR, a load box. But that applies to any kind of actual real amp. If we leave out what it doesn't have in terms of the modern features, which was clearly a choice to keep it at a certain price point, tonally, this is not just a high gain beast. The cleans can handle pedals really well and can give you a huge range of things. Is it going to be your clean only amp? No, that would be stupid to buy a 4-channel amp for that. But the clean is not just also there. It's really good. The crunch is a bit weaker. I'd rather push the clean and have fun with that. But with that super crunch, I think that's what it's called. Yeah, you can definitely get some really cool sounds, and especially having to have it on a foot switch and having clean and crunch both there available, it can do the job. Leads are as good as it gets. Rhythms as good as it gets. Chuggers as good as it gets. I love that it never lets you down. It never is too much. It's mix ready. The low end is not flubby. It doesn't fuzz out. Every note is precisely there. Very modern in that regard, how it behaves. And I'm impressed, and I would like to sit here for a few more hours and play it because I'm inspired. And that's what Good Gear does. So that being said, I still don't know exactly how much it is because I can't find it. Look it up. That was everything I could tell you about the Blackstar Series 1 Mark II 100. I literally can't do more than this. Go buy it. Don't buy it. Thank you, Blackstar, for commissioning this video. Links are below. Please use them to all the applicable shops. If you use the links, that really supports my channel. Thank you so much. And we'll put animals at the end, as always.
The bitch is there. She died of an STD, and no one came to her funeral. They did not want to be So the prospect of deep pockets somehow